Hey y'all, welcome to the Unmasked
And Unmuzzled.
podcast. I am your host, Erica.
And I'm your girl, Latoya Renee.
So, y'all, we want to welcome you to the Unmasked and Unmuzzled podcast. Y'all, we are super excited for you to be joining us tonight. We want to say happy new year, y'all. We are super excited. Y'all, listen, God is doing some amazing things. And so we are excited for what He is doing in our lives. And I know He is going to move in the lives of His kids. So we're just super excited. So, again, we want to welcome you all to the Unmasked and Unmuzzled podcast. Me and Toya are just two friends who, believe it or not, we did not know each other. We've only 2 months ago. We just got into each other's lives. I'm telling you how God works is amazing. So we are just two friends who in the previous season, and God is still removing layers. So we were in a season where God was unmasking and unmuzzling us. So we created this podcast to help others, both men and women, do the same. So as humans, what we want to fix everything, right? We want to be everything for everybody else. But sometimes we forget about ourselves. So for me and Toya, the enemy tried to steal our voice at a young age. We both struggled with false identity. Um, so there was different circumstances, events, and situations that we allowed it to define who we were. So listen, people put on masks to do what? Cover up who they truly are. Fear of the unknown, fear of judgment, fear of what other people think, fear of being judged for things that they done, fear of being abandoned, and so fear of just being left alone. But what me and Toya have found out is that fear is a destiny killer. It is
Yes.
something that the enemy has used previously in our lives, and I know in so many others' lives to steal their voice. And I can say for me personally, the mask that I put on became such a cover up. And it was a cover up for so long that I didn't even realize that it was actually a mask, and it was actually hurting me more to just stay behind that mask. So in this season, God started to remove our mask. So layer by layer, He was peeling things off of us, and we are super excited to be able to help
Yes.
other people do the same. We begin to see bit by bit who we truly are. God started to show us um about ourselves, who we were, our issues, our unresolved trauma, so many other things. But listen, here we are today. We took our process and we are still in our process, and we are so grateful to be here today to share our journey and to help people all around the world to do the same. So again, welcome to the Unmasked Unmuzzled podcast. And what we are about to do is we are about to help you become unmasked and unmuzzled.
And Unmuzzled, absolutely.
Yes,
So let
yes,
me give you guys a little history on how me and Erica met. As she said, I didn't know this girl from a can of paint. We were both in a season where we were trying to find ourselves, find God, find our purpose, but we were really broken when we first met each other. We actually signed up in a mentor program, but because of all the layers we had covering who we really were, we weren't interested in meeting new friends. I know I wasn't. How about you?
no.
Yeah, we weren't interested in anything but just trying to get some assistance with guiding and navigating through life. And through this mutual mentor program, we end up meeting each other. That is my girl, Erica.
Yes.
That is my friend. And when we first, whoo, I remember when we first discovered there was things hidden behind our mask. You remember that?
Yeah,
You remember that day when
yeah,
we had to write down who we are outside of the mask? Because each
yeah,
day we wake up at the beginning of this season, we were waking up putting on a facade,
yeah,
and I was comfortable with my facade. It was my safe zone. and we had to write down a few things that were hidden behind the mask we had on. And I'm not gonna lie, I had an attitude. I remember Erica, we was in a meeting and our mentor had us writing stuff down. And I'm writing and I got real quiet. Everybody texted me, Toy, are you good? No, I'm not good because I didn't peel this mask off. And I
Mm-hmm.
recognized there were some things under there, and so that is kind of how we met. And a little disclaimer, we haven't even seen each other yet in person.
No, we have not. And she's like my bestie, dude.
Forever, best friends forever. Yes, we have not met each other at all, but when God sends a ordained covenant relationship, you guys will help guide each other through the things that God is trying to do. And so that's how we met. How was it for you, Erica, when you first started peeling off the mask?
So when I started peeling off the mask, my journey kind of started before because you go to counseling and stuff like that. But you still put on a facade, right? You still try to cover up things that you don't want nobody to see. Like, you try to cover these things up like, like you can. The one that who knows everything about you is God. But we put on this facade, especially as a mom.
Yeah.
You tend to be everything to everybody else. Even as a wife, you have to put on this facade to be everything for everybody else. And so my process, I mean, there were things that I knew that was there,
Yeah.
but it's the ones it was uncomfortable. Those things where you get comfortable holding on to, those things that has became your identity because of the stuff that you went through in your past. So it was hard. It was hard, but it was needed. And it was hard. It showed me some things about Erica that I didn't want to let go of, honestly. It's your comfort zone. It becomes a mask. So when you have been this person for so many years, and then it's time for you to get down to what the nitty gritty, and it's hard, but you know it's hard, but it's amazing because you are free. And what a mask does is the enemy uses that mask, right? Because it is covering up, um it's his false identity. It's a
Mm,
false identity that he has given you. And
mm,
so you're shackled and bound by the mask, and true freedom comes when you are able to look and say, okay, this is who I am. God, I need you to fix it. I need you to remove it. And it don't feel good. You don't
mm-mm.
want to know that, you got some pride, or you arrogant, or or you a manipulator, or let's just name some stuff, right?
Right.
You want to point the finger at everybody else because it's easy. But it's then when you got to turn that finger back and say, listen,
Mm.
that's the hard part. When you gotta say, when you
It's
gotta
three at
point,
me.
you gotta point the finger at yourself, and you like, listen. But there comes a point in time where you gotta be real with yourself because God knows it, and once you give it to Him, He's able
Mm.
to do the rest. But you gotta be willing to give it to Him. He's a gentleman. You know what I'm saying? He's
Yes.
not gonna push Himself on you. You got to want your freedom. You got to want to be set free. You got to want to get rid of those shackles and the strongholds. But yeah, it was hard. It was hard, but I'm telling you what, it was amazing. It
Yeah.
was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. It was definitely really, really uncomfortable for me, because as being a mom, a wife, all the different hats that I wear each day, I remember we had a question that our mentor asked us, and she said, "Who are you?" You remember that question? And we
Right.
all was like, "Oh, I'm a mama, I'm a wife,
She
I'm
said,
a sister," and she's like, "No, without those titles, without all of that, who are you?" And it was amazing because none of us knew.
none of us. None of us knew.
I was afraid to answer. I was like, I put I don't know on my paper, so what am I gonna say? But it was really, it was a hard journey because sometimes accepting the truth of who you really
Yeah.
are, not who you portray yourself to be.
Mm-hmm.
is really, really hard. And I feel like in this year, 2022 was the first year that I really discovered who
Yeah.
I am. I was walking in a lot of brokenness, rejection, abandonment issues, but I get up and smile, or, well, I really wasn't even smiling because I was just a bitter booger wooger
Yeah.
behind that mask, just putting on that facade. And I remember this one time consecrating. And
Yeah.
we thought that when we go in this consecration, God was going to give us that dunamis power and we was going to be, yeah. And God was like,
No.
I'm glad, bring it in, girls. I'm
Right.
glad I have your attention.
Mm.
Now that I have your full attention, let's deal with this and that and
Listen,
this. And oh God. And
listen. God is not gonna elevate you with some mess like that because it was. Listen, it was. We just thought, God, we gon' we need, we we want some bonus, we want some authority. We try to like, we know who we are, so we trying to grasp it. You know what I'm saying? But God, like, daughter, this, 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 like he's
strip it
like,
off.
strip it off, strip it off, because he don't want you to go and the thing is, okay, the thing about a mask is that it's so hard to keep up with that mask,
Oh my
ain't it?
God.
It's so hard to keep up with a mask, and eventually you become what that bipolar is two different people. Like you don't know you don't know who you are from one minute to the next. It's so hard to keep up with the mask because we trying to prove ourselves to everybody else. And a one person, we truly only person we need to prove ourselves to God. And he's not even looking to for us to prove. We don't. He's not even telling us, okay, you got to prove yourself to me. He's just saying, come to me,
Mm,
come to me, give it
mm-hmm.
to me, and I will set you free. But you have to be willing to give it to him. Be
Exactly.
willing to take that mask off. So many people are wearing a mask, one because of protecting themselves. I know for me,
Mm-hmm.
I wore a mask to protect myself.
Exactly.
Protect myself, especially when you rejection. That's probably the thing that was the hardest thing for me to let go. Rejection had became so much a part of who I was, and it was the hardest thing to let go. But when
Mm-hmm.
you said, okay, God, I'm giving you this rejection, then allow him to do the work, but you have to be willing to give it to him
Hmm.
so that he's able to do what he do.
Yeah, rejection was my baby. That's my best friend. I didn't have no friends, but that
Listen,
was my road dog. I pick it up every morning, put it on, and roll with it. And I didn't realize how much it was actually like sabotaging my course, my life, the plan that
yes,
God has for me. If He's bringing in different plans and goals and relationships, because I was first rejecting myself. I felt so
yes,
self
self
rejected
protection.
first. I
Mm,
would literally reject anything that came to me, self sabotage it
yes,
before I can even get to the good of anything because I'm like, I'm going to be rejected anyway, not even knowing that's not what God had in store for me. And then another big thing that I wore as a mask was shame. Because
yeah,
in rejection, you find yourself, well, I found myself like picking up habits and doing things just to comfort me. So I would pretend it's not there. It's not there. It's not here.
yeah,
It's not here. I'm good.
yeah,
And I would really like, once I started to realize my actions and stuff like that, I walked in shame heavily. So
yeah,
rejection and shame was my road dogs.
yeah,
They kept me going every day and kept interfering with everything that I had in
yeah.
my life. But when I got to a place to where I took the mess that I was in and I brought that to God,
Mm,
not withholding, like, okay, God, this is who I am. This is where
yeah.
I am. I don't want to be like this. God, can you help me? And he was like, I've been waiting, baby, for you just
Yes, I've been waiting.
I've been
I've been
waiting, daughter.
waiting.
Yeah,
Yes,
for real. And so I began to allow him to reveal. I remember I kept saying, first let's ask God for revelation. We was in this. We had notebooks and we was mad. Talking about
Yes,
that's
we
I'm on page
did.
5.
We did, man. We did. Listen, y'all. We did. It was. I remember it was.
Yes.
We was like, where this come from? Things that you didn't even know
Burying it.
was there, and it was, and things that you knew was there,
Right.
but you were so comfortable, man. That consecration, God was like, before I elevate you, you got to take care of this thing. You got to give me that rejection. You got to give me that people pleasing, fear of other people's opinions. You know, you have to give it to me. He's like, you can't walk with you. How are you gonna preach to my people like that?
Come on now.
How you gonna minister to my people like that? I need the real you. I know who you are, and that's the thing. We try to hide
Mm.
behind this mask, and God already knows. We try to hide. We try to get everybody else to like us, and God's like, listen,
Hmm.
I already love you. I
Mm.
already accept you.
Yeah.
Just give
Just
it
as you are.
just as you are.
Hmm.
We try to hide from everybody else, and they can't really do. I mean, they can't do anything.
They
God
don't have a heaven or
they don't
hell to
have to
put you
have
in,
no.
baby.
Yes, just give it to him. Be real with yourself, and stop lying to yourself. One thing I did, I kept lying to myself. Oh,
I'm
I'm healed.
fine.
I'm fine. But that's something else that the enemy uses. I'm
Yeah.
fine. I'm healed. I'm okay. No,
Yeah.
you're not okay, sis. Not
Right.
you're not okay, bro. You're not okay. Be real with yourself.
Mm.
Be real with yourself so that you are able to be real with others.
Hmm. Period.
Be okay. Be okay with where you are.
Hmm.
Be okay where you are, because God accepts you. God loves you. Be okay.
Yeah. Own
Be,
it.
own it.
Own
Own
your stuff, and then God
own
can
your
work
stuff.
with you.
Own your
That's what I
stuff.
learned. Yeah.
Own your stuff and let him work with it. He can't give you something that, I mean, he can't work with something that you're not willing to give. You keep giving it to him, but you keep picking it back up.
Hmm. Yeah, I was good at that. I was real good at
Girl,
that. Just here you go, God. Oh wait, let me have that rejection on Tuesday because I got to go meet some people, and
girl.
I don't, just yeah, most definitely. So I have a question for you, Erica. You ready?
Oh, girl, I'm ready. I see you swearing. I'm like, what, Lord? What's she gonna
I got a good question.
say?
Okay, so as you might have already said a little bit of what were some of the things that once you started to peel off the mask that you recognized that were there. And once you recognized it, what tools were you using in your daily life to help
Mm,
you stay unmasked,
mm.
unmuzzled?
My asking mother. So rejection was one thing that
Mm,
that I struggled to let go of, because I'm 39 years old and I walked in it for my, listen, 30 some years. So rejection was one, fear of other people's approval, people pleasing, trauma, um, and not really knowing, or self rejection and self
yeah,
sabotage. Those are some of the things that, I struggle to let go of. But when I let those things go, what are some things that are keeping me from putting a mask on? Um, being responsible,
mm,
um, and acknowledging it and catching
mm,
it. So I catch stuff real quick
yeah, yeah,
now,
you do.
because
Mm,
it's right, like it's in a forefront, because when you got a mask on, it's in the back of your mind, like you're putting on, you're like, it's who you are. But when you give it to God and he brings it up, then just knowing what it is, and when recognizing it.
right.
So if somebody does something and then I had the spirit of rejection for so long, so I know when it rises. So whenever it rises, just say, okay, no, no, no rejection, no people pleasing, and just walking in it and just giving it to God right then and right there. But just renouncing it right then and right there, and not thinking about it and sitting on it. Because I find
Yes.
that when you sit on it and you think about it, then you start entertaining it. So don't
Mm.
entertain when it comes to you. What about you?
Woo.
Yeah.
So for me, it was definitely I recognized the rejection, the abandonment issues, the lack of self confidence with the shame because I always felt like I wasn't good enough, or why would God want to use someone like me? I had a lot of self doubt. I would literally talk myself out of anything that God had placed before me. I'll talk myself out of it. And the tools that I began to use to help me or assist me, prayer for me, prayer was key because every time God will reveal something to me, I'm going back to His feet, and I'm like, "Ooh, God, I didn't know that was there." Acknowledging what I see, and my best friend taught me something. Once you see something, you own it, then you renounce it.
Yeah.
You renounce that thing, and I would begin to do that. I would begin to write a list of what it is that I see, and basically taking it to the feet of God. So heavy prayer, also staying in my words, surrounding myself in a circle or community, because it's one thing to have friends that support you, but then it's another thing to have friends that'll call you out on some things when you need to fix it up. You know what I'm saying? And so I surrounded myself in a community of people who will hold me accountable.
Right.
And then I started to hold myself accountable. And
Yeah.
then I started to get books. Remember, we got this the Spirit of Ahab book
The spirit I
with
have,
our old
listen, girl, listen,
passive selves, jellybacks.
girl, listen.
Yeah, so those are some of the tools that I utilize that I still do because it's an ongoing process.
Yeah.
It's every day for me. It's
Mm-hmm.
some people, I guess it happened, they get it overnight, but for me it's an ongoing process, and so I continually have to use those tools just to fight every day, and it's been going well.
Yeah. And I
Yeah,
think that because it has become so much a part of your identity,
I'm
it's
getting
very
all
easy.
emotional. Where my tissue? Y'all, I didn't want to share my business. Where my tissue?
Uh, Girl, don't start crying. You're gonna get me to start crying. Um, but yeah, it's the unmasking process was not easy. It has
Yeah,
not been easy. It has definitely been a journey.
yeah,
Um, but it is well worth it. Taking off a mask that you have put on for so long because it was to protect yourself, or because you just did not, your fear, especially with rejection, right? You put on a mask when you have rejection because you've been rejected most of your life, so you're holding on rejection like it's a lifeline. That's what
yeah.
I held on to rejection like it was my lifeline. Even deliverance, sir, even through deliverance, I held on. I would pick it back up because I was comfortable. I was not ready to step out of that thing. But when you get rid of it, whatever it is, God is able to do
Yes, he is.
exceedingly and abundantly over anything you can think and ask.
Come
Yes,
on now.
yes,
Most definitely. I had to start feeding myself that word.
yeah,
And I realized the word of God was the opposite of what the enemy and my own mind, because everything's not the enemy. Some of
no,
it is your own mind, the
yes,
patterns of thinking that you've had that's
mhm,
telling you you're worthless, you're this, you'll never be that, you'll never be this. Oh, my babies thought I was really, they see me.
mhm,
It was just the self talking myself
yes,
out of stuff. And
mhm,
once I started to feed, I remember we were talking one time, and I was saying to you that some years ago, one of my spiritual fathers had taught me that whatever dog you feed the most will be the strongest.
Yes. Yep.
And
Mm-hmm.
so if we're constantly feeding our flesh, it's
Yes.
going to be stronger than our spirit. But if we're constantly feeding our spirit man will become stronger, you know? And so that's what I began to do. So I got one more question for you.
Oh Lord. What's up? What's up?
That's my friend. I be having to ask her. I do this too on the daily. I got a question, friend. So when did you first identify that you had the mask on? When did you first identify the rejection? When do you think it started?
Oh, girl, you trying to go deep.
I'm
Jesus.
just
Oh,
saying.
girl,
I
we're
know
about
this is just the
to
intro, but when did it
oh
start for you?
God.
I want to make sure I'm not crazy. Normalize this, not.
Let me see. So, okay, repeat your question because it's like, okay, so when did I sense this? When did I recognize the spirit of rejection was playing, or when did it come in?
Okay, when did it come in?
My
And
bloodline.
when did you, yeah, and when, but how old were you? When did you start to notice patterns of rejection, abandonment?
Girl, this we're going deep today.
Oh, it's just the intro tonight. Take
Girl,
it
this is
easy.
going deep. So I listen, we gonna shame the devil, okay? Girl, I mean, and we y'all, this is how we talk, okay? So
Yeah,
um
I forgot we
man,
was live. Hey, y'all. This is how we talk. Go
yeah,
ahead, Erica.
girl, the spirit of rejection, man, I would say,
Mm-hmm.
oh, hmm, fifth grade,
Wow.
fifth grade. I
Mm,
and I didn't even know it was the spirit of rejection,
right.
but I would say fifth grade because no, sixth grade, sixth grade.
Okay.
And I say that because we would go on these field trips, right? I went to a environmental school, so we went to different states and stuff, like we would go camping and stuff like that. And I remember, you see like this popular crowd, right? You got
Right.
this popular crowd, and I was not the one. I wanted to fit in. I
Mm,
tried so hard to fit in, and I would just do things that would be out of my I knew wasn't okay.
right.
And I would just people please. That's when
You
people
want to be down? I
I
want to
wanted
be
to be
down.
there. Going. No,
Yes.
but seriously, like
Yeah.
sixth grade, where I tried to my hardest to fit in. And I'm like, why? What
Right.
is it
Right.
about me that nobody likes? And it's
Mm,
not that okay, they were being mean or nothing like that, but it was just me trying to people please and make people like me,
right.
and I'm trying to fit in. Girl, I would be remember, oh, these give me flashbacks, Jesus. I would be on
We.
the
I ain't trying to
field.
take it back. We in 2023. I mean, no.
No, but no, in a good way. In a good
Okay.
way. I'm delivered, girl. But
Yes.
but no, but seriously, like I'll be on a bus and I'll just be like, well, dang God, like what is it about me? But I knew I was different.
Yes.
I knew I was different. And
Yeah.
I felt I was different. That's why God would never allow me to
Mm, mm,
fit
mm, mm.
in, because I was called to be set apart. I was
Yeah.
not called to be like everybody else. But I tried to fit in, and that's when people pleasing and trying to seek man's approval, that's when it started. So what about you?
Wait, did you ever get the approval you were seeking?
No, no,
Oh
no,
my
I
God.
did not. No, I did
Yeah.
not. But
Same.
my God, yes, it is, man. And it's
Yeah.
crazy that the enemy, listen, the enemy, he tries to get you a young age because
Mm,
our minds are not fully developed.
exactly.
When we are a child, that's when we soak things up. So he
Mm-hmm.
gets us at a young age because we can easily identify with that. When you an adult, yes, he's gonna mess with you, but you know right from wrong. You know what it is. God has already revealed to you. We fleshly beings, but this is a spiritual world. We can recognize it. If you're in God, you can recognize what that spirit is. But as
Right.
a child, you can't recognize it. All you want is people to like you.
Hmm.
All we are accepting things like a sponge. Your mind is not developed. You're not really aware of it. So yeah. What about you?
I would say for me, it's set in. My story's a little different. I feel like it's set in with for me at birth. Um,
Girl?
at birth, I was just born and shaped in iniquity. No. Yeah, with me not being raised by my natural parents, I could see myself in a little baby room. My mom was gone, and I see all the other moms coming in, picking
Yeah.
their baby up, and I'm like, "Where's my mom?" Until my aunt got who I love. I love them both dearly, but
Yeah.
I think there was because I seen an article that said that when you are a baby and you don't get that skin to skin contact
Yes.
with your
Yep.
mother, your
Hmm.
brain sends out some type of
Yep.
different signals where you go into survival mode
Yes.
versus thriving.
Yep.
And so for me, I believe that it came in at a very, very
Yeah.
early age when I first identified it though, because like you said, I always would try to fit in.
Yeah.
I had to live dual lives because it was like mom over here in the hood, mom raising me in church, and I wanted to fit in both. So I
Mm,
would juggle.
yeah.
And I end up being double minded and unstable in all my ways
Mm,
until 35, until this age here now. I can honestly say
yeah.
that's when it started for me. And I realized it at 35. I didn't know what it was before. I
Yeah.
would tell myself stuff like, this just the way I am. This
Mm,
is just me.
yeah.
I'm just like this. And
Yeah.
no, that's not who I was. And I once I had to own that and identify that, things began to really change for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
You got
good.
any questions for me? Since I didn't hit you with back to back,
Girl.
back to back.
Um, dang. Um, what was the turning point when you was like, no more, I'm done with that?
Oh my God. The turning point was that little meeting we had. That was too much
Which
for
one?
me. The meeting where we had to write down
Oh
what was behind the
yes.
mask. That was the turning point because when I wrote down the things that I knew that I was, if I would have showed y'all my paper, you would have been like, baby, give me a hug, baby. I'm so sorry. That was the turning point. I wrote down I'm bitter, I'm angry, I'm tired, doing this mom thing every day. I'm tired of
Yeah.
this and that. And I was honest with myself. And then when we started to pray. I believe we started to pray in that meeting. And after that, when I started I was like, God, I can't continue to be like this.
Yeah.
I need something more than that. And I started literally feeding myself the promises of God, the word of God, just constantly feeding myself. And I realized like everything I told myself was a lie. The
Yeah.
enemy would come with false truths,
Yes.
half
Yes.
truths. Tell me
Yes.
half of the things, but don't tell me the whole picture. Like that God has a
Yes.
plan for me,
Yep.
that He fashioned me. Though I may have felt rejected and though I may not have been raised by my mother, He had a plan for me, and I was fashioned and consecrated before He even placed me in my mother's womb.
Yeah.
I wasn't telling myself that, no, and so that's when I began to just really pull it back. And that was just a few months ago. And that's why I really encourage people and try not to throw people away at the place that they are, because you never know. You never judge a thing before it's time. You
Right.
never know like what stage a person is in with their healing, with their deliverance with God. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't have the testimony of this is how I've been for 15 years. I've been going
Yeah.
strong. It hasn't been like that for me. This is new for me. It just started a few months ago and I'm loving it. I love it here. I
Yeah.
love the freedom. I love walking in deliverance. I love feeling whole, complete,
Yes.
lacking nothing in God. Like this is no place I'd rather be.
Yeah.
I love it. And so, yep, that's where it is for me.
Yeah. That's good.
So, all right, we didn't got deep in this, just the intro. We wasn't supposed to be going this deep.
Yeah.
So, what's upcoming? Erica, let the people know what's upcoming.
What's upcoming? Well, so we will be every Thursday or Sunday. So every Sunday at 6, we will be live, or probably not live. We don't know yet. But every Sunday at 6 p.m. we will be on StreamYard,
Hmm.
Facebook, uh Anchor, and Spotify. You can catch us there. Um, what else? What else, Toya?
And okay, so we're on Anchor, Facebook, Spotify, StreamYard, YouTube. We're having some conversations and coffee days. We're
Yeah,
gonna have some guests coming in and sharing their journey to the unmasked and unmuzzling with you
yeah,
guys. Also, we have actually some great things in store,
yeah.
and pretty soon me and Erica get to finally meet each other in person.
Yes, yes, yes.
So
I'm
that's
super,
another
super
thing that will take you guys on that journey with us as well.
yeah,
But we got some great things coming up. Not
yeah,
gonna be no spoiler alert, but just stay tuned. Stay
yeah.
tuned.
Yeah, I do have, so okay, do have a question though, and this is to help the people. So what would you say for someone who has a mask on,
Mm,
but
mm, mm, mm.
they are too afraid to let go of it?
Wow. What I would say to someone who's too afraid to let go of it is to let them know that God's perfect love casts out all fear. And
Yeah,
if they come to God just as they are, where they are, he literally breathed breath into dirt when he
yes,
created us. He could
yeah,
have picked something squeaky clean, but he
yeah,
didn't. He chose dirt. So
yeah,
there's nothing that's you going through that's too heavy, too gruesome that he can't heal you from. Come to him as you are and allow him, because like you said, he's a gentleman.
yeah,
Allow him to help you navigate through peeling the layers and believe him. He's a promise keeping God. So if
yeah.
his word says you'll be made, will thy be made whole, he will make you whole.
Girl, listen,
That's what I would say.
yeah.
Will thy be made whole, my love?
Girl. And one thing I would say is stand in your truth.
Yes, yes.
Stop holding on to other people's secrets.
Yep.
Stand in your truth, because when you are trying to hold on to other people's secrets, you are hurting yourself and you are keeping yourself bound. So I would say stand in your truth, and then give it to God and allow him to do it. But he already knows what you are struggling with, but start to peel back the layers and give yourself grace in this process, because
Yes.
when you have to start peeling back the layers, it is not going to feel good,
Mm-mm.
because you are getting rid of some stuff that you have been holding on to. But stand in your truth. Don't be fearful, and accept your truth. Accept your truth. Accept where you are,
Right.
because in order to heal, or in order to anything, you have to recognize, you have to acknowledge, and you have to accept, and you have to move on.
Yeah.
So stand in your truth and know that God is able.
Yes, he
He is
is.
more than able, just like that woman with the issue of blood.
Oh God. Don't get me started.
Girl, just
Because
like
when wait, because when you was talking, I wasn't even gonna try to say nothing, but you had to bring
that.
it up. Let me tell you what I love about Jesus so much. He's just so perfect and he's so smooth. So when he was, because I when I read the Bible, the stories come real to me, like
Yes.
real life. And when he was at with the lady at the well, and she was like, I didn't have 5 men.
Come
I didn't been there and been this, and he's so sweet. He said, if you drink from me, you'll never
on.
go thirsty
Woo!
again.
Come
If he
on
would have said that to me, Jesus,
here, girl.
I love you, Savior. But he is so sweet. Jesus, like the old song used to see he sing, he is literally the best thing that has ever happened to me.
Yes.
Literally. And if we can, a woman with the issue of blood, all the different things like the miracles that we were talking about, they can come to him as they were and he can make
Yes.
them whole. He
Yes.
can do it
Yes.
for us.
Yes.
My dog trying to get in here. He could do it for
Yes,
us, and he will.
yes, but we have to be willing.
Yes.
And we did a clubhouse on miracles,
Mm.
and I identify with that woman with the issue of blood. That's probably one of my favorite stories in there is the woman with the issue of blood. This woman was so wore out and so tired. She was rejected. She spent all the money that she had. The very ones that were supposed to help her
Mm.
didn't help her. They only made it worse. How many of us go to people thinking that they're going to help us? How many of us go to people with our issues and our problems and the circumstance, and instead of helping us, they only make it worse? This
Right.
lady was broken, hurt, rejected. Society didn't want her. Nobody accepted her. Her own family didn't want nothing to deal with her. This lady lived in seclusion for 12 long years. She heard Jesus was coming and she said, I got to get to him. And let me tell you, girl, this is stirring me up. The
For, oh,
blessing out of it is that this lady pushed her way. She did not let her issue
yes.
she did not let her issue stop her. Her issue, and this is the thing. Okay, yes, you got raped. Yes, you got molested. Yeah, you was on whatever your issue was. Yes, it happened to you. But God, just like that woman with the issue of blood, her issue got her to her healing.
Mm.
God used that issue. She heard Jesus was coming.
Right.
She said, I don't care. She was not supposed to be in public. She did not care. Listen, she was known. People knew her for her issue, but Jesus
Yes.
knew her by name.
Mm.
Said daughter. That's
Mm.
that's a phrase of endearment. Daughter,
Yes. Yes.
you have been made whole. Even after Jesus healed her,
Hmm.
she still and yet doubted. She was trembling
Mm-hmm.
even
Yep.
after her healing. That's the thing. Even after your healing,
Mm-hmm.
there's still going to be some things coming.
Yep.
But a blessing out of it, this woman pushed her way through. And only if you can only push your way through your issue, if you can only
Yes.
push your way through that rejection, if you can only push your way through that abandonment, if you can push your way through that molestation, that abuse, that trauma, if you could just push your way through, you will
Come
be
on.
made whole. She didn't touch his body,
Mm. 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 Mm.
the hem of his garment. It was her faith.
Yes.
It was her faith that made her whole. It was her faith that made her whole. If I can only, this woman she was on her knees. She
Mm.
didn't care. If so, it back in the day, if someone that issue that she had, if she touched somebody,
Oof.
they will be known to be unclean.
Yeah.
She didn't care. She didn't
Yeah.
care what people thought. She didn't care what people said. All she knew is that she needed her healing. She was tired of the issue.
Yes.
And the thing is that Jesus was seeing about those people were so crowded on that hill.
Yes.
Everybody wanted something from Jesus. Everybody did. But in the midst of everybody needing a miracle, she got hers.
She
So
pressed.
she pressed her way through. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing about Jesus. Even when everybody else need a miracle, he's gonna see about you, just like he's seen about the
Yes.
woman with the issue of blood. So no matter what you're going through, know that God is able. It's more than able, more than capable to heal you of whatever your issue is. People
Yes.
might know you for your issue, but God knows you by name. He created you from when you were in your mother's womb. He knows the how many hairs is on your head.
Ooh, he a bad guy.
You were formed in your mother's womb. He knew you even through all your rejection, even when people abandoned you. He knew you. He knew your mistakes. He knew everything that you would do, but God knew you.
Hmm.
And if you could just push your way through, just like the woman with the issue of blood,
Hmm.
and make your way through, God is more than able.
Ooh.
You just have to have faith to allow him to do it. It is her faith
Hmm.
that made her whole. God will see about you.
Yes.
He is a God that is everywhere. He is the God. He can give people miracles at the same time. He is not. He's a limitless God.
Hmm.
We put God in a box. God is limitless. He is not a God that you can put in a box. We put God in a box.
Come on.
Can't do. God can do it. He will see about you. You gotta want to be free. You gotta want to be free.
You got me stirred up.
Yeah.
This is how she talks to me all the time. I'd be like, Erica, why? I just called you to see how you doing.
Yeah. Listen.
For real.
It's
Most
set the people
definitely.
free. My God.
Yes,
The
God.
enemy want to
Yes,
keep
God.
people bound with that mask. You
Mm-hmm.
have to give it to him. You have to give it to him because it's the mask that's gonna keep you bound. It's the mask that's gonna keep you broken.
Yeah.
It's the mask that's gonna keep you just stuck in
Hmm.
mind battles, limiting yourself, and even limiting God. Because that's what mask. I know that's what I did. My mask limited. I limit God.
Yeah.
God's a gentleman. He's not gonna push himself.
He's
He's
so
not gonna
sweet.
say. He's not gonna say, okay, I mean, you gotta give it to him,
Yeah.
withholding nothing. In this season, we could withhold nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no way he could show us that stuff. We still holding on to it. Mm-mm.
For what? Let it go already.
Yeah.
You just gotta let it go. It's harming us. It's
Mm.
toxic. It's toxic.
Yes.
Yeah, most
Yes. Yes.
definitely.
Yes.
This
Yes.
has been beautiful. We thank everyone that has joined and watched, and we appreciate you guys. Let us know if you guys ever have any topics or anything that you would like us to dive into with you guys. Send us some messages. I was gonna
Yeah.
say back channel.
Yeah.
Send us some some messages. But for now, what you think, sis? Is this we good for today or what?
I
Cause
think
you got me stirred up, girl. I'm about to go get my Bible and my highlighter.
Girl, I think we good. I think that God did what He did, but this is amazing. We are just listen. We are just two friends who are like real with each other, and just this is a podcast where we just gonna just sit back like we talking to each other, and then y'all just in the room with us.
I keep forgetting, honestly. I keep looking at you. They probably wonder what I'm looking at. I'm looking at Erica because I be listening, talking to her. This is what we
Listen,
do. This is what we do.
yeah, I'm just grateful. Our mentor joined in, Miss Madeline Jones, the one and
What?
such a blessing to the kingdom of God. And we appreciate everyone that has tuned in. Some amazing things are going, like we said. We will be every Sunday at
Mhm.
6 p.m. Central Standard Time. We might have pop ups, coffee,
Yes.
and don't know, maybe read a scripture, I don't know, whatever God leads. We are so excited.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much for tuning in. We have some great things going on individually and collectively. um let's talk about Wall Shatters Ministry. We cannot
Woo,
forget about
woo.
that. Wall Shatters Ministry is a ministry that was built on consecration and prayer.
Mm.
um it is an amazing ministry. I am the global leader for the state of Missouri. And January 28th, we are having a prayers and our blankets and prayers where I am collecting blankets
Yes.
And I will be me and a couple of the other people will be driving around um the greater Kansas City area, passing out blankets to the homeless. It is getting cold outside. I know it is
Yes.
warm right now, but we are still in winter. So we are going to be handing out blankets and giving out and praying for the homeless. I have it on my Facebook page where you are able to donate blankets. Um, if you are not in the state of Missouri, I have two local air stores. I have a Walmart and a Target that you are able to purchase blankets, and I will go pick them up. You can donate to Wall Shatter or Cash App Wall Shatters MO. Um, and yeah, so Toya, what about
Yes.
you?
And so, man, y'all gotta tap into Wall Shatters too. That's Wall
Yeah,
Shatters is a ministry that comes to destroy the walls and barriers that have been keeping us locked up.
yeah,
And I am the Oklahoma region leader. And Oklahoma, we don't have any event coming up. We'll keep you guys posted, but we are just in a time of prayer and consecration for now. And so that's what I have coming up for Oklahoma. I also have some special stuff. You think I should tell them or not?
yes, I think you should. I'm sitting here
Um,
like, oh, yes, go ahead.
yeah. And so, me and the love of my life, Mr. McMillan, very soon, actually, whenever God says drop it, we will be having a coaching for relationships and marriages. We'll be navigating with a few couples, getting through the dynamics of relationships and marriages so that we can love each other the way God ordained. That's something that I have dropping really, really soon. Erica trying to have me drop it today. But I don't know. Yeah, I gotta wait and pray on it. I
Yeah,
gotta pray on it.
go ahead and like and share and subscribe to the page. It's called
It is called Pursue with Purpose because we
Yeah.
pursuing with purpose. We got to get from a place to where we're just pursuing just because of lust, because he look good, she look good, or she got a bag, he got a bag. You got to be intentional about who you're investing your time and your future with, and pursue
Yes.
with purpose. So, yep, that's what I have going on. And the other things I won't share yet.
Yeah.
They call me Quiet Storm because I like to move in silence and then just kind of pop out.
She called Quiet Storm because she gets to talking and she the storm that you don't see coming, y'all. I'm telling you, this woman is so anointed and I'm so proud. Listen, I'm so grateful for this friendship. I God is amazing.
Don't start, Erica.
Y'all try not to cry.
We be mushy. We some mushy friends.
God is amazing. So
Yeah,
he is amazing how he brought this friendship together.
right.
And we actually keep each other accountable. And we're just grateful for Wall Shatters ministry because God used that ministry to change our lives. And it's amazing. So yeah, I'm super excited. So I got a couple of things going on.
Actually, she's a serial entrepreneur. This lady here has about 15 businesses she busting down.
Girl, it's man, listen, that's what happens, and me and Toya are stepping out, but that's what happens when you become unmasked and unmuzzled.
Yes.
We are hitting the ground running for God, most importantly, not
Yes.
to prove anything to anybody, but because we know that the call on our lives is greater and bigger than us. I have 5 daughters. Toya also has kids. I have a grandson on the way. After 5 girls, y'all got
Oh,
Jesus. But yeah,
grandma.
yeah. Okay, now we're gonna go with Gigi because I'm too fine to be somebody grandma. Okay, period. Point.
Point blank. Period. Yeah.
They're gonna be like, But yeah, seriously. But yeah, it's bigger than us.
Yes.
So being unmasked. and unmuzzle and allow God to do that. It is necessary
Yeah.
because it is bigger than you. It is bigger than what you think think it is. But so I have some things going on. I just launched Restore Her LLC. I will be opening up a single mother transitional home for single moms and their kids in 2023. It will be in the heart of Kansas City, Missouri. I
Yeah.
am a trauma and wholeness life coach. My passion is to help women and teen girls. Listen, that is my passion. I love helping women break free from their past, things that have been keeping them stagnant. And I have a passion. I have 5 daughters, okay, and
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I have a passion to develop these girls and other young girls to be the leaders of tomorrow. So I have a it's academy, it's a school, it's gonna be a signature school. I keep saying it's a life coaching business, but it's actually a school, and that's what I'm working on. But it's called Queen of Rise Academy. I have in January 20 oh God, January 30th, I will be doing an 8 week coaching program called Beyond Your Trauma. And that is for women who has struggled with trauma. Toya's a mess. So
I'm
anyway,
a mama four. Sorry, and they.
so it's called Beyond Your Trauma. It starts January 30th. You can go to my website at www.queenofrossacademy to enroll. Again, it starts January 30th. It is called Beyond Your Trauma. I also have a teen mentorship program called She Rise Mentorship, which starts January 27th, I believe. You can also go to my website if you have a young lady that is in need of mentorship. Then I will be happy to mentor her. My girls will be going through that mentorship as well. So
Mine's
they
too.
already know. Yes, they already know that they will be going through that mentorship program. But I'm super excited for what God is doing in our lives. He is amazing. He is awesome. Um, yeah. So next Sunday, we will be having a podcast at 6 p.m. Also, I do have my own podcast called Ignite Podcast with Erica Pearson, and we will be discussing trauma. It's called Let's Talk Trauma, and that
Movie.
will drop next Tuesday. So yeah, we have a lot of stuff going. It's
Mm.
amazing, and I thank God that I have a friend who is going with me through this process. This
Yes.
journey is not easy, but I'm so grateful to be able to just celebrate the accomplishments of a friend and to push her while she pushes me. And yeah, it's amazing.
I thought I'd never have a friend, girl. I didn't even like females. I was a real hood. I had all the bros, you know. It was I had the bros. I didn't like the women.
Listen, this God is calling her out. God's calling us out, y'all. It's amazing.
God is calling her out. Yes, he
And
is.
I said us. God calling us out. It's amazing. Y'all, please stay tuned for anything that she has going on. She is so shy and so humble, but she is so amazing. She is so dope. If you have not, yeah, she's dope, y'all. She is so dope. Relationship and marriage coach. I'm so
Oh, I can't wait.
excited.
I cannot wait.
Don't underestimate Quiet Storm, y'all. Don't underestimate her. She's like,
Or Dr. Pearson. That's what I call
oh
my friend, Dr. Pearson.
yeah.
Yeah.
Soon. But
Yes.
yeah. Anything else?
That is all I can think of. Again, we thank you all for joining. Stay posted. Be sure to go to the other social media sites and like the pages so you can stay updated with the things that we'll be dropping and rolling out.
Yeah.
We appreciate every last one of you, and that is it from Quiet Storm.
That is it. That is it from
I
me.
yield.
Yo, we're gonna yield that mic, and this room will be
Wait, I can't never say it on Clubhouse, but I remember tonight.
Oh my God. So this broadcast will be ending in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good night,
Good night.
everybody. Happy New Year. Be
Happy New
blessed.
Year.
All right, bye.